Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. Today, we will be learning about the evolutionary, environmental, and experimental fields of psychology. According to the American Psychological Society, psychology is the study of curiosity where scientists use empirical methods to collect and interpret research data to better understand and solve some of society's most challenging problems. Today, we will be breaking down those three subfields, so I hope you all enjoy our presentation and thank you for watching.
What is an environmental psychologist? They explore how individuals are influenced by their surroundings. They analyze the home, the working environment, school, and they look at how that makes a person feel and what conditions cause individuals to act the way that they do. They investigate common settings, just as the design of towns and communities and the social focuses inside of them. They make proposals to change the earth to support a specific conduct. Educational background. You have to, absolutely have to, first get your bachelor's in psychology or a field related to that. Next up, you have to get your master's, a master's degree in environmental psychology or in psychology with a concentration in environmental psychology. That takes roughly 2 to 4 years, depending on how many classes you take, if you go full-time or part-time, but the bachelor's is roughly 4, the master's is roughly 2. Next, you have to get your doctoral degree. That's a must. In order to become an environmental psychologist, you have to have your doctorate degree. That takes roughly 2 to 5 years, depending on how long it takes for you to do your doctoral dissertation and to do your research and to get that done. So, career job outlooks. Environmental psychologists make, according to the 2018 listing, about $90,000 a year. There's also other jobs that a person can obtain with a PhD in environmental psychology. Another one being an environmental planner. Environmental planners gather and break down information to decide ecological conditions and reclamation needs. They also create and convey suggestions for landowners to keep up or to reestablish conditions in the environment. They plan natural ventures utilizing organic databases, and they arrange programming. This career, you can make about $71,130 per year. Also, with a PhD in environmental psychology, you can become a climate psychologist. They work in associations, government offices, organizations, and non-governmental associations. They apply mastery fields. For example, they arrange natural structures inside and outside, and they work on environmental change. They roughly make $90,000 to $110,000 a year. So with a degree in environmental psychology, you can be very, very successful and have a major impact on your environment. The career outlook. According to the APA, psychologists alone are increasing dramatically, but environmental psychology in that career field is looking to increase from 2018 to 2028 an 11% increase. So that is very, very good if you're interested in improving your environment, improving your school environment, your work environment, just trying to help people out and see how these different areas can change how you feel in a way that you can improve it. This will be the perfect job for you. Next, we'll talk about...
Hey guys, Nicholas Hughes from Crazy 8 here to talk to you guys about evolutionary psychology. So evolutionary psychology is an approach to psychology that attempts to explain useful mental and psychological traits such as memory, perception, or language. A little bit about education for evolutionary psychology. So students interested in this profession will need a master's degree, which typically takes about 2 years to complete before advancing to a doctorate. And a doctorate typically takes about 5 to 6 years to complete a degree in evolutionary psychology. So yes, education does need to be from an accredited institution, and accredited institutions are colleges in the U.S. that meet the standards of a recognized reviewing agency. A few career job and opportunities for evolutionary psychology. So one job option that many evolutionary psychologists are involved in is research. So this research may be conducted from a university, a laboratory, or a research institution. A second job that evolutionary psychologists can do is called academia. And this is where evolutionary psychologists may be involved with undergraduate teaching, And this may involve introducing the special fields the students take in a more generalized psychology course. Or it just may be teaching students who are pursuing an evolutionary psychology degree. As far as salary goes for evolutionary psychologists, it's estimated at a range about $76,000 to $116,000 a year. And the career job outlook for evolutionary psychology, it's relatively rare, and there are several reasons for this. So one reason is that evolutionary psychology is a highly specialized field of work, and there aren't many jobs in the field to begin with. And second, individuals with jobs in academia, which account for a large number of evolutionary psychologists, tend to stay in their positions for quite some time. So there's not room for new people to come in. And that being said, though, the Bureau of Labor estimates that all psychology careers will experience 11% growth over the next few years. So that's a good thing for evolutionary psychologists, but also for psychology in general. And that's pretty much it for me. Thank you. Next, I guess we'll have one of my group members talk to you about experimental psychology. Thank you.
An experimental psychologist is someone who uses scientific methods to collect data and perform research. Experimental psychologists use many forms of research, combining statistics and a subdiscipline. This career field allows psychologists to specialize in multiple subfields such as industrial, organizational psychology, psychometrics, and clinical psychology, to name a few. They study on both humans and non humans and apply these methods and results to their specialty area. They analyze this data to find various diagnoses for social, behavioral, and emotional disorders. The education that a person would need to become a successful experimental psychologist is a bachelor's degree from a 4-year university, a 2-year master's degree in experimental psychology from an accredited program with clinical and laboratory courses. To become even more experienced and advance your career, it is suggested to earn a doctorate degree that can take up 3 to 5 years. And to practice with an experimental psychology degree, a student must get a license, which would be given to you after an exam, a licensing exam given to you by the state. If a student does not take psychology courses and get a psychology degree, they would have to get additional requirements in a post-bac program. This field allows psychologists to have many diverse work environments, including universities, research centers, and private and government businesses. A few career options a experimental researcher psychologist can have is becoming a research analyst, a professor, a human factor engineer, and product user researcher. These career choices offer a salary from $76,000 up to $120,000, depending on the position. The demand for experimental psychologists will grow exponentially within the 10-year span between 2018 and 2028.
In the video, 3 subfields of psychology, which are environmental psychology, evolutionary psychology, as well as experimental psychology. As a recap, environmental psychology is a study of how individuals are influenced by their environment, such as home, work, and school, and how that plays a role in emotions as well as actions. Evolutionary psychology is a study of how the mind is developed and psychological characteristics. Experimental psychology is used for research, and the use of research coexists within scientific methods as well as collecting data. So, we all thank you for joining in on our presentation, as well as this being informational.
yet informative to you all. Thank you.